يا من يرى يا من يرى مد البعوض جناحها في ظلمة الليل البهيم.
With that, I would like to welcome our gracious host, our president, Dr. Sue Hammersmith, to come up to the podium and give us a little bit of a welcome note. Thanks.
Stay here and help me with something. Because you said the words that are the standard greeting. I want you to teach me. I bet there are some other people in the room who also don't know those phrases. Some other people might learn too. Okay, repeat it again.
Assalamu.
Assalamu. Where's Assalamu?
Alaikum.
Alaikum. Assalama. Assalamu alaikum.
For short, you can say salam.
Salam.
But I wanted to give something. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. We'll practice that.
I came here to talk about Ramadan and virtues of Ramadan. So if we recognize that man is not just about matter, it's not just about the body, it's not just about the physical aspect, there is another part to humanity that is extremely important. There is another aspect to humanity that is extremely important. That's the metaphysical aspect, that is what is beyond matter, that is the soul.
يا من يرى ما كان مني في الزمان الأول. يا من يرى ويرى وصول غذا الجنين ببطنها في ظلمة الأحشاء بغير تمام.
I was invited to speak about jihad today. So if we really look at the word itself, jihad, it really precedes this concept of a doctrine of crusade, precedes a concept of a holy war, which really started with the Crusades. And if I translate it back really into Arabic, it would be Al-Harb al-Muqaddasa. That would be the translation of the word holy war. And if I look in the pre-Islamic literature, if I look in the whole entirety of the Quran, if I look in all of the sayings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and we have thousands of them. If I look in Islamic literature and Islamic jurisprudence from the time of Muhammad, peace be upon him, to the time of the Crusades, to the modern times, I don't find the word Al-Harb al-Muqaddasa in any of that literature, in any of that jurisprudence.
أمن علي بتوبة تمحو بها ما كان مني.
Well, thank you again for coming and joining us. My name is Kibo Ali. I am a member of MSO. And as you know, today's event is Sharia and Human Rights, one of our hot topics. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker today, Dr. Hamdi Salaf. Sorry. He holds a PhD in psychology from the University of Minnesota. He's an imam, consultant, professor. And there's so many things on this list, and I'm not going to go through every last one of them, but he's a very diverse man, and we're just happy to have him on our campus. Thank you.
In the name of God, Allah most gracious and most merciful, I greet all of you with the greeting of Islam in Arabic, Assalamu alaikum. The translation of the meaning more or less, peace and mercy and blessings of God upon all of you. It's really an honor to be with you today at Metropolitan State University. And I'm really thankful and grateful to be with you. And also I'd like to thank the Muslim Student Organization to invite me to present to you one of the hardest topic ever. And they were so great to choose such a topic to address. Human rights in Islam would cover what? Many aspects. And I would start with the fetus in here. Someone would say the fetus in the belly of a mom does have human rights? What would be the answer? In Islam, the answer is yes. And you might ask me, how? I said, okay, that one is a living human being, right? He or she is not born yet. But who would decide for him to get aborted? That's his right. It is not my right as a dad or your right as a mom. It is his right. So in Quran, in the teaching of Islam, will spell out to me when and how and by whom I would keep that one inside me as a mom or get rid of it. And under which circumstances. Can you believe it? Human rights for the one who hasn't been born yet.
السبع الشهاد أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد وانتشت روحي وصار الدمع يجري يا إلهي خذ بقلبي للرشاد أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد وانتشت روحي وصار الدمع يجري يا إلهي خذ بقلبي.
I think that's where if we get involved, we understand each other, we know our neighbors, and I think that goes with our community as well, and that's why free clinic being provided and everyone is being invited, come to that place. The mosques are open houses, faith of God, you can come, and that's the contribution, that's the working together as a community. And when you see that happening, in any unfortunate event, like 9/11 or any other in the world, should not divide us as a community, because we know each other. Because I know what my neighbor has done with me. I know how they've been involved, their kids have been involved. And I think that takes away from that. So we have it in all the faiths, and we have to pinpoint the wrong that individuals do as the wrong as they do. In our faith, we truly believe we don't hate the person, we hate the act.
When I became Muslim, I was stunned. I became Muslim right at the time I became an adult. I was 19 years old. So that's when I started branching out into the world as well. And I was stunned that the religions we learned about in school didn't talk about Islam. We talked about just the brief summary. You couldn't go into religion, but the Judeo-Christian religion, they didn't mention that Islam was part of that. And that's something that's misrepresented, because so many people don't realize that we follow the same set of prophets, and that our media will play the bad parts of Islam and the negative stereotypes of Muslims, and then we don't educate people about Islam. So when you go through life, I didn't know myself when I became a Muslim. I didn't know what to expect. Everyone around me was saying, "Watch out, you're going to be oppressed," because I knew Islam was what I wanted, and I didn't know any Muslims.
I'm married to her, so.
And I was going to mention you, so now you're stuck. My grandma really struggled with me becoming a Muslim, and it wasn't until she saw that I was 19, 20, 21, and I was her only grandchild of 27 that lived a lifestyle that her as a Catholic woman would want. I didn't drink. I was married and lived a good life with all my cousins and books. So if you see this video.
هذا القرآن هو الهادي لأوائلنا وأواخرنا يدعو للعلم وللعمل لا شيء سواه يهذبنا كتاب الله لا شيء سواه يهذبنا العمل به كتاب الله لا شيء سواه يهذبنا هذا القرآن يوحدنا لطريق الخير يوجهنا الله تعالى أنزله ورسول الله معلمنا رسول الله معلمنا هو معجزة الله الكبرى عن سر الكون يحدثنا الله تعالى أنزله ورسول الله معلمنا
My name is Bharat Murphy's the Journal Office Development Coordinator with myself. Excuse me. I just ran from the stairs when I was taking that's my break.
فلنعمل نحن بمنهجه هيا